Alrighty, so welcome to Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft, and this is Richard. So I'm working in my Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft room, and I've got a few things I want to hang up. So I went to my closet and I got my raccoon that I have in there out, as well as I went into the front room, and I'm sure my wife will be very nice, pleasantly surprised and happy to find that I grabbed the beaver from in there. So I'm going to hang them up in here. Right now, I don't really have any particular place. I'm just going to throw them up here. Doesn't really matter at this point. I'm just going to put them on either side here. I guess just kind of completely and totally random at this point. I'm going to go ahead and here's the beaver that I did. I don't know, it's been a year or two. This was actually a pleasant find. It was a roadkill, and I was able to save this beaver pelt. And the back of it, I haven't actually tanned it. I've just salted it and got it nice and rawhide. It's just a rawhide right now. Same with this raccoon that I've got. It's just a rawhide version of it at this point. I haven't, not going to do much with it right now. So I'm just going to hang it on the wall over here and let it sit up. There, just going to sit here for a while, and eventually I want to make just a little, nope, that's fine. There we go. I want to make a hat out of the raccoon. So what I'm going to do, I need at least 2 more raccoons. I like the head on this one, but I'm not sure if I want to use that. And I jacked the tail up because I don't have a tail splitter, and I just tend to jack tails up anyway. But I can't use the tail on this one, so this might be the part around the head, and then I'll get one for the tail and maybe use the head, I'm not sure. But the beaver over here, honestly have no idea what I want to do with this. I actually at one point thought about making some gloves or mittens out of it, but there's definitely not enough there to make a complete set, a pair, so right now it's a wall hanging. I also have 2 coyotes in the freezer, and I know my wife would love to get those out of the big freezer. I just honestly, I'm too lazy at this point right now. I got too much going on. I'm not going to do them myself. I've fleshed them. They're pretty well fleshed, and they've been in the freezer for a while. I don't have the enthusiasm to get out there and actually work the hide. It's going to take a couple weeks on each coyote to do that. And to be totally honest, I just don't have the desire to put the time and effort into it. So I've been considering taking them to somewhere to actually have them tanned. I know a guy who will do each one of them for $45 a piece. And to me, that's worth it. It's well worth $45 for somebody else to tan them. He does chemical tan. I've never done a chemical tan. All my tanning are just straight out. I use egg and mayonnaise to put on the hide, and then I just work it. And I'll sit out there for, it takes days and days to do that. So anyway, I've got the 2 coyotes in the freezer, and I would love to get those tanned, and I'm thinking about just taking them to this guy and having them chemical tanned. And I want to make a cloak. I want to have 1 coyote coming up over my shoulder where its head is sitting here. I want the other coyote where its head is sitting here. And I want one coming up the back and actually making a hood a cap type thing out of the other one, so I have a head sitting here as a hat, and then two on my shoulders here, and then I can use some cordage or something to maybe, like, tie them together, make like a cloak or something out of them. I think that would look cool. That's what I saw in my head when I first got the coyotes, and I didn't kill the coyotes either. A farmer that I know killed the coyotes, and he was just going to leave them out in the field to rot, and I just couldn't. I couldn't abide by that. I was like, oh, no, I'll take those coyotes for sure. So I went out, got them, and skinned them, fleshed them, and then I just got so tired. It took me. I spent some time working those. From what I did do, working those coyotes. So it took me a while. It took me a while to get them skinned, and then fleshing them, and from there I just kind of lost the desire to put a lot of work into it. And they've been sitting in the freezer, I guess now 2 winters. This is the second winter. This will be the second winter, so I need to get them done. So anyway, got my beaver up here, which I did not kill, by the way. I'm getting a lot. I tend to get a little bit of comments about how mean I am about killing these animals. Well, and I'll make an official Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft statement on that topic. Let me see here. Hold on. I may have killed that raccoon. That may have been me. I have taken a raccoon in the last year or two. That raccoon may be from me, possibly. The beaver is not from me. The moccasins that I made, I had somebody complaining that I killed that poor deer. I did not kill that deer. Somebody else shot that deer legally. Well, okay, somebody else shot that deer. Had nothing to do with me. I'm not going to say he did it legally or illegally, because I have my opinions on it, so I'll keep quiet on that one. Anyway, he gave me a hind quarter, and he separated it amongst the people in the neighborhood. He was really nice about it. He cut it up. He gave me some of it. He gave some neighbors pieces of it. So it was a community share as far as the meat goes. And as a matter of fact, he took the hide and everything else out in a field and dumped it. And when I found out he'd done that, I asked him where he dumped it at, and I went back there and got the hide off of that deer, and came back to the house, and I fleshed it, and then I worked it, and it took me a long time to work that deer hide. And what I did was I originally just made it into rawhide, left it as rawhide, and I had it in my shed for like 3 years, just as rawhide, because I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. And then I eventually figured out what I wanted to do with it, so I re-soaked it, I worked it, I smoked it. I used oak and walnut leaves from the area, and I smoked it, and I made a hide out of it, and then I cut that hide and made the moccasins. So as far as that goes, I did everything to that from those moccasins back, but I didn't kill the deer. Now, I don't see anything wrong with taking animals as long as it's something you're doing out of necessity for food or clothing, or you're going to use it for a serious purpose. I don't see any reason why someone would just go out and kill an animal just for shits and giggles. I don't like that. I don't abide by that either. But it happens. I don't do it. Now, I do have people who ask me to get rid of nuisance animals, which that may be the raccoon that was a nuisance animal. I can't say for sure, but I think that one I trapped myself. and I've got him up here. I am going to make a hat out of him, but he was considered a nuisance animal. He was destroying property, and I figured somebody else was going to get him if I didn't, and I would use him, whereas other people would just kill him and leave him to rot. So anyway, the beaver was a roadkill. I may have actually taken that raccoon fully. The coyotes I did not kill, but I've processed them through to this point. The deer from the moccasins, again, I did not kill, but I did process everything else. So anyway, I don't see a problem with taking animals as long as you're going to use the meat, you're going to use the hide, you're going to actually do something with them. If you just kill them just for shits and giggles and then leave them out in the woods to rot, I don't like that, and you know, I can't abide by that one. So anyway, if you would like to be upset that I have fur, that's fine. I see your point. Whether I agree with it or not doesn't really matter. If you feel like being upset about it and you want to say something to me, feel free. I completely understand, hippie liberals. Hold on a second, I gotta deal with the cat. Stop it. I completely understand hippie liberals. They don't live in the same world that most people live in, and if they want to be upset about killing animals, they can be more than upset. I just hope that if you are a type of person who gets upset about it and expresses your opinion as you do, that you don't eat food at all, ever, because eating food is killing something. Now you can say, well, I don't eat meat. Well, that doesn't matter to me, because if you eat fruits and vegetables, you're still killing a living thing. You may not see it that way, but I do. I don't distinguish between plant life and animal life. To me, it's all life, period. I do not distinguish between them. So when people get upset with me thinking that I'm out there just murderizing animals, it doesn't really hurt my feelings at all. The only thing it does do is show me that you either don't know what you're talking about, or you're separating life forms, which I don't do. So, more power to you, and complain and bitch all you want about me killing animals. I generally don't. Like I said, out of all of the animals, bones, everything, I got bones all over the place. I found this one out in the woods. I think it's a deer bone. I've got boxes and boxes of all kinds of bones. They're out in the woods laying around, natural death or not. They just lay out there and rot and just lay there and are unused, so I will use them. So I'm a scavenger, and that's quite normal for a natural animal, which I am. We all are animals, whether you want to think of us that way or not. We are just as much of an animal as any of the others. We just happen to think differently, and we're able to express ourselves in a manner that aren't the same way as other animals. So, you may think yourself above them. I don't place human beings above these animals. I don't place human beings above lettuce. To be totally honest, I think we're all the same. Just because we think we're intelligent. Anyway, I think I'll shut up about that, because I'll just go off on a great tangent on that. And I've already decided, for those of you who have been watching my channel for a while now, I did switch gears a little bit for a short period of time, and I thought I was going to get more into my spiritual aspects of the outdoors, but I've altered my position on that, and I've decided that I think as a whole I'm going to keep that to myself. I'm not going to express it as deeply as I did for a short period of time on this channel. Of course, it has aspects. The aspects of it will, kind of blend into everything else that I do. But I'm not going to specifically work or do videos specifically on my belief system or lack thereof, according to some people. So we'll just keep it at that, and I think everybody understands my position, and more power to you. I absolutely accept other people have other opinions, and the beauty of it is that I'm willing to accept that and still be friendly, and if that's how it is. So thank you for watching Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft, and I'm going to continue to work on this wall and the rest of my garbage that I have. I got to do a little bit more work in here today. So enjoy the outdoors, even if it's just your own backyard.